Hello. Mic test. Hello, guys, and welcome to our webinar series called Trading Opportunities. So, before I continue, I would like to request the audience to let me know if the audio and video is working fine. And looks like it is. Thank you, Mohammed, Daniel, Yunus. And that let's just continue with the actual content here. I mean, the introduction content. And then we'll get over to the actual webinar stuff. So first of all, this is the webinar series called Trading Opportunities. We conduct one every Friday. 3 are conducted publicly, 1 is conducted privately. You can find details for the private webinar in the text scrolling at the bottom of the screen, right? And as far as what is discussed in these webinars, we discuss the major instrument pairs: crude oil, gold, S&P 500, Bitcoin. So this is what we have been covering for a very long time now. And one second. So as I was saying, these are things we have been covering for a very long time, and so far in the last 160 webinars, we have captured a total of 404 trades. All were discussed live in front of you guys, and we also cross-verify what was said in the last public webinar, and then discuss the actual chart. Right. So those of you who want to join in on these webinars live, we conduct one every Friday at 4:30 p.m. GMT. So whichever time zone you are in, just convert it accordingly, and that's about that. Nothing else to add here regarding the webinars. Lastly, I am also the author of the book Think with the Markets. You can find it on Amazon's Kindle version, electronically deliverable, and is a track record for those who actually care about accuracy and what you call why you should hear me kind of reason. We have 6 consecutive years of 80% plus, blah blah blah. Just check it yourselves. You can subscribe to the mailing list for getting updates. And yeah, of course, most importantly, if you are interested in becoming a member of our private Slack group, you can request details here. And those interested in private classes can request details using the training program LT form here. Obviously, the video course is also there. You can check details. And without any further ado, let's just get started with this webinar. Let me just first load on the last webinar because that's how we proceed with these. Let's go to 1080p. Let me load up a few things and then we'll actually get started with the content here. All right, so here's the recording from the last webinar. Let's first very quickly check out what was being discussed in the last webinar before heading over to the current live chart. That way we will have a context of how things have progressed since our last discussion. So EURUSD is the first chart on screen. We are assuming a WXY kind of correction where W is complete, X is possibly continuing, and we are assuming that the Y will come in play, give a possibly downward movement after breaking the sideways white box, sideways range at, let's see what the price is at the time of discussion, 1.13998. All right. So below 112,688, we will look for possible shorts. Let me just fast forward and see if there's something else. Another hypothesis is 4 is complete and there's no break of 1.12688 and the market just goes up. Right. So now in that case, I'll just move over to our whatever this is live chart. And yes, we are delayed a little bit too much. 1.12688. 1 second. Somewhere here. We are delayed a little bit too much. I was out taking a bike ride and lost track of time. Kind of that is the purpose of the rides. Anyways, let me just check the comments in the meantime. Hello, Mohammed Daniel Yunus, and thank you for the confirmation there. Same goes for Joe, one of our private Slack group members and regular attendees of the webinar. Nice little thing you have drawn there. Hello, Dawood. Manuel, hi. one of our regular viewers, and Raghu. Good evening to you. And Raghu is also a private Slack group member, and so is Etivet. Good evening, Etivet. All right. So as I was saying, we lost track of. I lost track of time, and so is the webinar delayed a little bit. But anyways, let's check what was being said last time. We were assuming that if it goes below it, it can still continue for a 4, and it has gone below it. I wouldn't say it was a trade. This isn't a very big move or anything as such, but it did follow the analysis and supposedly is completing the wave 4. Let's just see the count here. So I have assumed that from this point of reference, we have a W and an X sideways and then a Y possibly complete. Y could have one more down leg remaining. That is again a possibility that to consider. But overall, we are assuming that once this 4 is complete, we want to see upward movement. For that, I would like to place the alert at the price level around 1.13622. So above this level, I would like to consider long trades. That's the that's the theory in play right now, right? Nothing really specifically likable about the structure. I personally do not even like the count. It is too complex. I'm kind of forcing it at this point in time, and that's not something I like. As such, it can also be said that the 4 is not here and that the 4 is already complete here. Let's remove everything for a second and perhaps here. And this is the 5th complete. Who knows? That's also possible, and that would mean this market will just continue going down. So as I said, I'm not very keen on this count. Neither am I keen on this market as such. I don't think we traded anything on euro this week, right? So just a wait and watch market. I have given both views here, the bearish and the bullish. The bullish consideration only comes above this level. The bearish consideration is already kind of active, and we can look for scalp shorts below whatever that is, 1.12158. Right. And as far as the analysis is concerned from the last webinar, it did go lower, but I don't think I should count it as a +1 or anything. It hasn't given anything concrete. So, anyways, let's move on to our next chart of crude oil. If you guys have any doubts or questions, just let me know in the live chat quickly. So here's the last discussion from crude oil as discussed in our webinar connected on the 2nd of this month. Let's see what was being said before we proceed with the current drama. So here is the recording. We are resuming 1 down, 2 up. Correction for 4. Let's see what else am I saying. Let me remove the mouse pointer from here. Only one hypothesis, I think. All right. So we are assuming that the market will continue lower. Price is around 58,331. Date is 22nd of this month. Let's now head over to the live chart. So here on screen is live chart of crude oil in front of you guys, and thank you, Joe, for the confirmation there. And as I was saying, we just want to check what happened after 2nd of this month. Was 2nd of May. There is 2nd of May. So we wanted to see some downward movement as per our count. One, let me just show what the count was. So this was the count from our last webinar. This was the point of reference. And we were assuming this as 1, this is 2, and this is 3, and this is 4, and this is 5. So it has done whatever the hell we were thinking of. This brings our tally of trades to +1, making total number of trades that have worked out in our past 161 webinars to 405, 405, a staggering 405. Anyways, now that that has already happened, let's see what this market is probably suggesting to us right now. That sounds too far-fetched. That sounds rather ideal. All right. So I'm going to discuss just one of the possibilities that I think is heavily likely here. Instead of discussing too much theory or anything, we'll just stick with the most likely scenario here. Point of reference around the price level of 72,557. We are assuming that possible impulse in continuation to the downward direction. And let me check one more thing here very quickly. Sounds about right. So as I was saying, point of reference around here 72.557 something, date 3rd of April 2025, and we have one leg down here and a correction in ensuing for wave 2, right? And we can say that this market is continuing sideways in the box range, and this is wave 2 going higher, right? Or maybe the wave 2 is complete and this is just a correction for the second of the third in play. Anyways, for those of you not understanding whatever I'm blabbering here, we are just assuming that this market is continuing something like this. So 1 is complete, 2 is complete, and this is the third. So we expect a downward movement. That's the hypothesis. So this third can be broken down. If you want to magnify it, you can just say that this looks something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The third itself. So this will be the 1 of the third, 2 of the third, 3 of the third, 4 of the third, 5 of the third. So that you can call this dot 1 of the third, dot 2 of the third, dot 3 of the third, and so on and so forth. That is our expectation. We don't have any confirmation for it right now. Right. So with that in mind, we can just assume that if we want to go short on this counter, we will look for short consideration below whatever this is, 58.435. So below this level, we will look for what do you call selling opportunities on this counter, because we are assuming that the impulsive leg down is still in play and we have wave 3 still to be formed, still to form here, right? Nothing much to add here. It's just a wait and watch market, but I personally think that it can give us some real good trades. Another scenario would be to wait for a break of this yellow trend line. That will give us a more faster entry, but higher risk. Sorry, lower risk, faster entry, but it does reduce the probability of success of the trade a little bit. It's a trade-off, right? More or less, that's about it for this counter. I don't think there's much to add here. So if you have any doubts or questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you are clear, just let me know in the comments as well. Mohammed, Joe, Dawood, Manuel, Raghu, Ativet, where are you guys gone? Or are you still there in the first place? Very low participation, but then again, we were late to begin the webinar. So what can I expect? That's it for crude oil. I won't be adding anything else. I don't see any questions. All right. So there's the confirmation. Thank you, Joe, for the confirmation. No questions. So that means I'm going with a good steady pace. And same is from Ativat. He's clear. All right. In that case, let's now head over to our next chart of gold, which does seemingly have a very clear setup. So here is the recording from our last webinar on gold, which was obviously conducted live 2nd of this month for those of you new to this webinar series. And let's see what were we discussing on this counter. So let's just fast forward a little bit. All right, so we were assuming A down, B up, C down. All right. Secondary consideration was that this market can still be continuing lower for the C and can go to 3173, which was the downside level, support level, I mean. Let's note these things. Can go up to 3173 and we will look for longs above 3283 plus. This was the support and this was the long consideration. Now let's head over to the actual live chart and see how things have progressed. So here on screen in front of you is the live chart of gold. Let's first check. As expected, S&P is No, it isn't that clear. But anyways, we'll discuss it when we get there. Second of May. Here is 2nd of May. There it is. 2nd of May. Right. So it did go out and perform whatever we were expecting as we expected. ABC down complete and it has gone up as expected. Nothing really to say other than +1 went up as per analysis, bringing our tally to 406 trades in the last 161 webinars. So, what are you guys doing if you are not a part of our private Slack group? Yes, Nirav Marketing finally. Anyways, so with that being said, I have a small request here. If you guys are enjoying the content here and would like to see more of this content, then you kindly share this content in whatever trading groups or with whatever trading fellows you know in your friends, colleagues, family, etc. This is 162nd webinar, and unfortunately, we are not even crossing 500 views on a regular basis. And forget about the likes. The likes are what 20, 16, 25. This has gone for too long, and at this point, I do have my own private Slack group. So the first stage was to move one of these webinars private. So instead of 4 public webinars, now we do 3 public webinars and 1 private, and so on and so forth. You can see the future will translate to less and less public webinars if you guys are adamant on not sharing it and just keeping the content to yourselves, right? So that's the request here. Again, I don't know if anyone even cares. I've been requesting this for what, so many webinars, and where's the result? Anyways, enough of me blabbering about nonsense stuff. So what we have here is gold ABC complete, and now we have some upward movement. Let's see what's the assumption here. Pretty straightforward. I am assuming that the correction is complete here, and from here on we are seeing a possible impulse. Again, it will have 5 waves inside of it, and as per our counts, 1 is complete, 2 is complete, and we are heading up for the third. So more or less it's a long play here. Stop loss will be sorry stop loss will be at the low, which is currently standing around 3275, right? And we already have entered longs on this counter. Actually, my entry price is roughly around 3319. The current trading price is 3340. But anyways, with the stop loss around 3276 technical, as such, I personally think it should be a little bit higher. But anyways, technical stop loss around 3276. We would like to hold and see how this market performs. As far as the internal counts are concerned, let's see what this market is saying. All right, I forgot to check these comments. Thank you, Raghu, for the confirmation, and same goes for Luis. So as I was saying, we would like to check the internals: 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, double bracket red, double bracket 4 red, double bracket 5 red, and on the downside we have double bracket A, double bracket B to the upside, and double bracket C to the downside. It is what we call a diagonal structure, ending diagonal here. So anyways, that just suggests that that kind of grants a little bit of weight to our analysis. So nothing to do here, just keep holding on and let's see how it progresses. As far as upside drama is considered, we expect it to at least break 3432, obviously the minimum target. Let's call it T1, and then we wanted to break 3498. Let's see, somewhere here. That's it for this analysis. Nothing much to add here actually. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If not, just type in clear, understood something, and we'll just move over to the chart of S&P, which does have some interesting points to be discussed. I don't see any doubts or questions. Or there it is. Sorry. Let's see. Here is it. What would the bearish scenario here? Well, the bearish scenario, Joe, is pretty straightforward. We want to consider bearish scenario if we see a break below 3276. That's the beginning of our consideration of the downside, and I mean that is the place where we will exit our longs and look to consider shorts. And actual short consideration comes below 3226. So this level basically. That's our bearish consideration scenario. Will it do that? How long will it go? I don't want to consider it right now because I don't even think that's a consideration worth considering, if that even makes sense. Consideration worth considering, whatever. Anyways, so Mohammed, thank you for the clarification. And Ativat has asked, are we in wave 2? Let's see on the high time frame, what am I even counting? So on the high time frame, I'm considering two possibilities. One, I'm considering that we are seeing a 1 up, 2 down, and 3 up here, and the secondary possibility is 3 here, 4 here, considering sideways continuation, possibly as flat, possibly as a triangle, who knows. So yeah, two possibilities here at Tibet. But the good thing is in both of these possibilities, we are looking to see a move at least till 3, 4, 3, 5, roughly speaking. So our target one should hold. So good question there. That would looks clear. Well, Rahul, we stopped following Nifty a long time back. No participation from guys and all. So no current plans. Joe says understood. So in that case, let's now head over to our next chart and see how things are progressing on the chart, or see how things have progressed since our last discussion on the chart of S&P's 500. So if you have been following our past discussions, you know pretty well that we considered this possibility. Nothing has changed since our last discussion. This was the main possibility we were considering in our last webinar. Alrighty, cheers. Yeah. It has been following that, and it hasn't given us a clear, what do you call, idea of what it is doing since then, right? So I'm saying all right because it is following the count all right, but it doesn't given the follow through. That is the bearish movement after the completion of the expected diagonal here. Now, considering that, what can we say is, first of all, this market should break below the trend line. That's our first indication that this market is actually giving a follow through. You can also take a trade here because the stop loss will be very small. If let's say we see a break here, the stop loss is only this much. All right. So that is a trade worth considering. Although, as you know, I always like to follow through the discussion with the classical approach, which would be break below trend line, retest of the trend line, and then entry here. Could also be taken as first entry here. Let's call it one. Second entry below once we see price established below the trend line, and third entry with a heavy position on the retest. That's all theory. Let's see how well we can play it in actual practice. Obviously, I'll post the live updates in the private Slack group. Right. But for now, that is the consideration. As such, there isn't anything else to add, I think. There literally isn't anything to add. As for the diagonal, you can call this the first leg of the diagonal, second, third, fourth, considering the fact that fourth is overlapping with one. We have a overlap of 4 and 1, and hence this is what you call a diagonal structure. And fifth is still possibly in continuation, maybe complete. Who cares? It has to break the trend line. That's what we care about. All right. Nothing else. I'll wait a few moments here if you guys have any doubts, questions, whatever. If not, just type in clear, understood or something, and we'll move over to our last chart of BTC. And yeah, actually, I think I should just check the recording for S&P. I don't think we checked it, right? Yes, so there were two possibilities. The one was that this is diagonal continuation. Second was that this is a nested impulse 1 2 1 2 and so on and so forth. It is still following through with the diagonal continuation. So it is a plus one, but let's just even check the price 5685. But I think I'll just leave it as it is because our main setup was bearishness. Anyway, so things are working out as expected. Movement as expected for this count, and nothing else to add here. I can see some comments here. Let's check them and move over to our next chart. Of course, obviously, guys, if you are joining in now or checking out this webinar series for the first time, if you are enjoying the content, do not forget to hit the like button, and most importantly, share the content if you are interested in having more of these webinars. This has been a very, very long time, 2+ years, I think, of me doing these webinars, and we haven't gotten the traction that was supposed to be driven. So your kind contribution in this form of likes and shares, more importantly, shares, is definitely required here. Thank you, Ativad. Thank you, Joe and Raghu. Did we had bullish scenario also last week? Yes, we did had the bullish scenario as we just checked in the recording. I think you posted the comment before I showed the recording. So with the bullish scenario, there isn't really anything to add here. You can still call it a nested impulse. No fun in that, right? That's just a counter view. So I think that clarifies all doubts. With that being said, let's now head over to the last of us, the last chart. Last of Us is a very famous PS4 game. PlayStation, they even released the second part. Anyways, by Watchdog Studios, I think. I don't know why I'm even talking about it. I personally haven't even played that game. So here is the discussion from our last webinar on BTs. This has followed through very nicely. +1 on BTC because it went up precisely as per analysis. So here is the recording. Let's head to BTC and see what was blabbering on about in the last webinar. So we were looking at an impulsive progression in the upward direction, 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, and 5th in play, and we were expecting more upside movement. Price at the time of discussion was 97333. Data feed is Bitstamp. Keep in mind, different data feeds will have a little bit variation of price, so you need to be mindful of that. And here is the current chart, live chart on screen. So our last discussion was, as I mentioned, on 2nd of this month and 97333. So the market has definitely gone up since our last discussion. Right, so this is picture perfect, played out precisely as power analysis, and let's see what is happening right now here. So right now this market was I have been following BTC, by the way, with quite a bit of detail because it has been just that kind of a market. Every single important move, turn, break, etc., we are following it on this chart. Anyways, BTC, that's the view here, and what do you call 1 2 here, and 1 2 3 4 5 4 3 down 4 4, and 1 2 3 4 5, and that's basically what we have here. We are expecting one more leg up here. Currently we are pursuing a wave 4 correction here, or fourth leg down over here. And once that is complete, we can expect one more leg up. As such, it's not a mandatory requirement. It could be the 4 here, it could be the 5th here, and the whole thing could be just done and dusted. Who knows? And as such, it's not really even a market to look for what you call it isn't the market to look for many more trades here, maybe some scalps, that's all right. So I don't want to add anything here. We can look for possible scalp longs right now, and once this 5th is complete, then we can look for possible scalp shorts as well, right? Because what will the market do after the 5th is complete? Give a correction. So I won't suggest any trades here, just that We had some good trades here on this counter since our last discussion, and they have played out really, really well. So, with that, we can say that we have concluded the discussions. I'll wait a few moments for you guys to post in any doubts or questions regarding this chart. If you have any, just type it that in. If not, just type in understood, clear. Thank you. Bye bye. Because we are at the end of this webinar now. Have one comment here. Let's see that. To join your Discord, we don't have any Discord mate. We only have a Slack private group, although they do serve the same purpose. And we have some rules here, so you can just make your inquiries by heading over to the website, contact us form, and requesting details for Slack private group. In case you are messaging or emailing me and not getting a response, make sure to check your spam, because this is email. I don't know how Google handles these things. They do like to put business email IDs in spam every now and then if it's what do you call form generated response. Nothing I can do about that. I could put up my own direct payment link, but anyways. Funny you said Last of Us is a game when you where everyone already knows it. Yeah, that's true. But maybe Joe, not everybody knows it. Maybe only you and I know it in this chat. I mean, in this live chat. Maybe we are surrounded by people much older than we think. No insults. I'm just doing some fun banter or trying to do one. Thank you for the confirmation, Ativat. And should we expect a pullback before we head back up? Yes. We can expect a pullback on 4th here. It's already done the bare minimum. So let's check what's the secondary requirement here. Secondary requirement is incoming at the price level of 101,000. That is a very outstanding number. 101,000 is where the 4th wave pullback can come up to. And from here on, we can then see upward movement. Right. Hopefully that answers your question, Luis. And yeah, welcome, Raghu. Same goes for you. Yeah, welcome, Luis. So thank you guys, those who stayed till the end. Of course, do not take the words or the request I made lightly. I hope you guys consider it seriously and make some worthwhile efforts in spreading this webinar and recordings. Well, there's only so much I can say, and there's so many webinars I can do. And rest is all in your hands. If you want to continue seeing these webinars, of course, then. All right, Mohammed. And Joe is saying thanks again for your outlook on the markets. Next week should offer good opportunities. Yes, I think there will be a good action, at least in gold and possibly in S&P. This is called a trend line, mate. Trend line. It's a very basic question. You need to watch some more webinars. All right, guys. That being said, parallel channel, or maybe you were referring to the Fibonacci retracement. Anyways, with that level of knowledge, you won't be able to apply it. So anyways, guys, as I was saying, thank you for staying till the end. Hopefully you do your part and share the content. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next webinar. Take care and bye for now.